For this week's Age Skater session at Northport, I set up the camera but forgot to put the SD card in there, so I'll be taking the footage I do have and putting out another video in a couple days. Luckily, on Friday I went to Brentwood Skate Park, which is a really great park for beginners. And I had probably my most productive single day since I started skating again. And a lot of this is due to the fact that they have so many different options of the same or similar transitions. And these clips are me working on my backside 50-50s, which you'll see a lot of them. I'm really not just getting all the way around, but I got a lot of practice in, thankfully. And I think that's really one of the things that I really like about this park is everything can be done in small increments, right? This is a small transition, and then they have bigger ones, and they continue to work their way up in size. This allowed me the time and the repetition to get a little more comfortable with the movements because it has been so long. So this is the next step up in the transitions, and even though I'm not getting them perfectly, I think you can kind of see I'm actually getting a lot more comfortable as I approach the lip. And while I was there was a young man who was actually working on his rock to fakies but wasn't able to get them down. We chatted for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he started doing them. And I don't think I said anything to help, but these are all back to back. Unfortunately, I didn't get his name, but I did tell him I would throw that up on the YouTube channel. So hopefully he sees this. He did an excellent job. And if you are here, I want to thank you for that water, because it really did come in handy. So while I was here, I decided I wanted to learn to Ollie again on transition. So I decided to start really slow. I'm just here ollieing on a simple, small bank. Really, the part that felt really uncomfortable at the beginning was literally just the fact that you're leaning back a little bit as you're doing an ollie. And this helped kind of ease my way into it. I then worked my way up to a slightly steeper bank. And then to a marginally steeper ramp yet again. Once again, moving to yet a steeper ramp. And then a little bit steeper. And then I went ahead and made my way over to the actual transition. And I think you can see I get more comfortable as time goes on. And lastly, I'm using a bigger transition so that I didn't have to worry about getting caught up on the coping. I then decided I would really love to be able to do frontside ollies on transition again. I'm really trying to just force myself to get the repetitions in and to get really, really comfortable before I move on to transitions. Once again, I'm stepping up as I get more and more comfortable. And you'll note that I start to go higher and go a little bit faster. At this point, I moved on to transitions, again, staying low. And a little bit higher. And a little higher yet again. And this is the first time I start to actually approach the lip. Not quite there, so I tried it again on the low transition. Then I decided, hey, let's start trying some other stupid things. Blunt is something that my mind tells me I can still do it, but for some reason when I physically try to do it, it's just not coming out right. So I decided to land disaster first. And I think I'm trying to get too far on top of it, which is why I'm kind of rolling onto the deck. My momentum is pulling me up there. And that one I just kind of forced it in. Didn't work. And then I thought maybe working on nollies off the coping would help me feel a little bit better with the board under my feet again. And believe it or not, considering how ugly these are, I actually do think it did help me feel a little more comfortable going up the transitions. I think it just reminded my body that you're not always going to want to lean the same way as you go up a transition for every trick. So yeah, they're not pretty, and I'm not even really hitting my rails because it's not quite steep enough, so this wouldn't be as easy if I were on like a 3-foot ramp or something. And closing out, they have this beautiful little rail slide bar. Unfortunately, because of camera issues again, the best footage didn't come out clearly. Once again, thanks for watching, and I hope you got some value out of this. And if you have the opportunity to go to Brentwood, it's definitely worth the trip.